Hi, this is April Winchester with, I am an independent standing up demonstrator in the United States. And I gotta be honest with you, this is like my 6th time trying to make this video. Something has gone wrong every single time. I don't know if it's just not my day or what, but this is gonna work. And if it doesn't, whatever, we're just gonna go with the flow because, yeah. So, I want to share a card with you today. Ignore my mess. I have a mess because I've been doing this for 6 times now. So I want to share a card with you today using some retiring products. The annual catalog is retiring. I believe May 3rd is the last day to order. I'm going to use the Gorgeous Posies stamp set, and I'm going to use the stitch shapes. I believe the Gorgeous Posies is still available, and I apologize in advance, but I'm not sure if the stitch shapes are available or not. I forgot to check. If they're available, run and get them if you don't already have them. They're amazing. They're versatile. They go with the layering shapes. And I mean, you can use them for so many things, and I just love them. I'm really sad that they're retiring. So let's go ahead and just get started. Today I have a piece of, this is the card that we're going to make. I have a piece of Mango Melody folded as my card base. I have a piece of basic black, a piece of basic white. I cut out a 1.5 inch circle punch from the center of the black. I have a 1/4 inch black strip, and I have a basic white scrap that we're going to use. And then I have another piece of basic white for the inside of the card. All right. So I'm going to set this down, and I'm going to line it up with my grid. Then I'm going to take some washi. No matter what happens, we're just going to keep going. I mean, people make mistakes, right? So I guess I don't have to be perfect. And actually, I say that all the time, that this is handmade. It doesn't have to be perfect. So you're probably wondering what in the world I am doing. I am just trying to make this washi tape so that it is not so sticky. I want it to be sticky enough to stay down, but I don't want it to rip my paper when I pull it back up. So now that I have this, you can see I've already been stamping. Now that I have this lined up, I'm going to go about 1/3, maybe a little bit more than 1/3 down on my sheet. And this is going to be the area that we work in. Using Coastal Cabana and a blending brush, I'm going to blend very lightly some Coastal Cabana on the top here. I'm going to take off the majority of it first, and then I'm just going to very lightly blend Coastal Cabana over the whole top part of my card, just like a rectangle here. And you can do this as light or as dark as you want, but I'm actually aiming for light because I'm going to be putting Mango Melody on top of it, and so I really kind of need it to be light. That's actually a slightly darker than I wanted it to be, but I think it will work. I'm going to go ahead and put the Coastal Cabana away. I don't want anything to happen. And we'll put the brush away too. All right, now you can see I've already, you probably can see here, I'm not sure, but I stamped a stamp into the wrong one when it had ink on it already. Terrible. So I'm just gonna be careful and hopefully not get too much of that color onto my flower. I'm using the flower in Mango Melody, and I'm trying to get it nice and inky because I want it to be fairly dark. I'm going to stamp my first flower over to the side. I'm really pressing and holding it because I really want to get a good solid image. I'm going to do this again 2 more times. One up top here. And I'm just trying to decide how I want my flower to go. And then one here, which is only really going to show like a petal or two, but I still want to do that. And so in order to do that, it's probably going to stamp down onto my white, and I don't want my white to be inked, so I'm going to use a Post-it note to help. And then I'm just going to go ahead and decide what I want facing up. And there is my 3 flower images. I'm going to set that aside, and I'm actually going to go ahead and get rid of my Mango Melody so that I do not make an accident like I did last time. Now I've got Granny Apple Green and my leaf, and I'm going to go ahead and ink that up real good as well, nice and inky. And I'm going to give some leaves to this flower, and I'm going to give some leaves over here to this flower, which I think it just went over a little bit, but that's all right. Yeah, I went over this a little bit, but I think that's all right. And then I am going to, these are closer than I had originally done, and I had put some leaves in between, but I think I'm just going to, let's see, do I want to go this way? That's probably going to end up being covered up anyways, so I think I'm just going to go ahead and leave that. Just kind of deciding. Yep, I'm just going to go ahead and leave that. So now I'm going to use this stamp, which is like veins, that's what I call them anyways, for the leaves. Ink them up in Granny Apple Green and just go right over the top of, wow, I don't know what happened there. Oh, that's all right, not too bad. And then I'm gonna do this one over here. And there's my leaves. Then I'm going to take this little piece here. Trying to see if I have another. I don't see one. Okay, I'm going to take these little dots and some Stays On Black because I want it to be nice and vibrant. And I'm going to put the dots into the centers of these flowers. And there's really no center here. I'm just going to double check, and no, there's no center there, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to close up my Stays On real quick. I will be coming back to that, but I want to clean off this stamp. I don't want it to stain if I can help it. So there is that part. I'm now going to very carefully try to peel this off without ripping it. Dun, 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 dun. Yay! All right. Now, this little black strip comes in. I'm going to put some wet glue on here. You could certainly use glue dots or even your Stamp and Seal if you chose, but I'm going to use some wet glue. And I'm going to use this as like a little border right here, and I'm going to line it up again, try to have it be as straight as possible. And there's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and just trim off those pieces on the edges there. And I'm going to set this aside for a minute. Now I'm going to take my sentiment, which today I'm going to use the Get Well Soon from the same Gorgeous Posies set. I'm going to use Stays On, so it's nice and vibrant. And I'm going to stamp that onto my scrap piece here. And clean it right off so that I don't have it stain, or at least as little as possible. Go ahead and close your Stays On up as quickly as you can because it can dry out. And then I'll close up my Granny Apple Green. And I'm going to take my little stitched circle and I'm going to line it up. And this is a real close fit, but I like that. And I'm gonna just run it through my die cutting machine real quick. I didn't have it die cut ahead of time because I really wanted to stamp it first so I could make sure to line up the die as good as possible. All right, here is that piece. And then I'm going to attach this piece to the black. So I have just a little bit of black peeking out around. And then we're going to go ahead and put our card together. Here I'm going to just use some Stampin' Seal. And normally I only really put it on 2 ends, but I want this to really stick down. This is a real thin border. There. I need new blades. The paper is actually kind of fuzzy from cutting, so that means I need some new blades, but it's okay for now. So there is that piece. I'm going to go ahead now and stamp and seal this onto my card base. And I'm going to put this Get Well Soon right here. I'm going to pop that up. And actually, I think I'm also going to add some Wink of Stella. Let's, do I want to add Wink of Stella? I kind of feel like I do. This wasn't originally my plan. And it looks like it might not be my plan because I don't see where I've put my Wink of Stella. What? Where would my Wink of Stella be? All right, we're not going to do that. That's just fine. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and pop this up onto some dimensionals. Probably 2 is enough, but I'm going to use 3. And you don't have to use paper here. You could use like ribbon or something, but I wanted it to be a solid black, and we don't have a solid black ribbon at this time. And that's my card. I know, you know, at first when I looked at this, I was like, well, maybe that's just too much white, but I really like the idea that there's just a little bit of something up here. Another way that this might look a little bit different would be to not have it on a colored card. It could just be on white. That would probably look really good too. But I really wanted to use the Mango Melody to help with those flowers. So that is the card for today. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Check out my blog and my online store. All the descriptions for the supplies that are used, all the links for the supplies that are used are in the description below. And hopefully they're still available. If not, there are plenty of other items that are still available that are retiring, and also plenty that are carrying over to the new catalog. So let me know if you would like a new catalog. If you do not have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd be happy to be yours and to work something out to send you a catalog. So that's it for today. Happy stamping!